Morning, I'm Pat Wise Straley from Keller Williams Real Estate, and I am so excited to be here today with Tiffany Thomas Smith. How you doing, Tiffany?
I'm doing well, Pat. How are you?
Good, good. Tiffany called me last week and told me some very exciting news. She is running for a seat on the bench of the Bucks County judge, to be a Bucks County judge. And the question I asked her is why. And when she was telling me why, I told Tiffany, I need to share this. And the best way to share this is for Tiffany to tell her own story. So Tiffany, would you share?
I will. And thank you so much, Pat. Thank you for taking my call, and thank you for being so supportive, as you have been for our whole friendship. Which started so many years ago when I walked into that open house and fell in love with my house.
Right.
My house.
And your realtor.
And my realtor. So I am running for Court of Common Pleas judge. And that is there's going to be a vacancy on the bench in the Court of Common Pleas of Bucks County. And the Court of Common Pleas handles cases involving family matters, criminal matters, civil matters, and orphans court matters. And the reason that I am running for judge is because I've been a family law attorney for over 20 years. And I know the impact that the family court system has on people. And, I've shared with you a story that so many years ago when my youngest son was born, I was actually going to the hospital. At that point in time, prior to that, I lived in Philadelphia. And when I got to the hospital, I had an experience that I can only hope that no one else ever has. So when my husband dropped me off and I walked into the emergency room and I was alone, and I was young, and I was, I think, perceived as a young Black girl who was pregnant. And the very first thing they asked me is, did I have insurance? And I was kind of taken aback by that. But I said yes. And then they put me in a wheelchair and they kind of wheeled me over to a corner. It was very cold and very lonely. And by the time I made it upstairs to see my actual doctor, I was told by the attending physician that my doctor wasn't coming. My doctor lived on the main line and he lived in the suburbs and he wasn't coming to the city. And I was literally in shock. And the reason was because I had a really high risk pregnancy, and I'd been working with this doctor for weeks and weeks and weeks, every week actually, for the entire pregnancy. And ultimately he did come, and that was resolved. And the cord was wrapped around my son's neck. So if that doctor hadn't come, my son might not have made it because the attending was not equipped to handle that type of situation. And I tell that story because it was one of the times that I truly felt systemic discrimination, that based upon not the individual nurse, not the doctor, just the system, I was perceived as a young Black woman, single, although I wasn't, there was a perception, and that I was less than. And that was a horrible feeling. And I know that there are people that come into the court every day, regardless of whether you're a CEO or whether you are a waitress or in any kind of field. When you walk through the doors of that courthouse, you're scared. You're scared and you feel alone. And you need someone who has empathy and education and will support you in the decision, in an impartial decision that's made. But having that experience is something that I can relate to people about. And having the experience in family law and in criminal law, I know what people are experiencing when they come into that courtroom. And they need to have a judge on the bench that has some understanding. I will be running as the first African-American woman to run for judge in Bucks County. And I'm very proud to say that. And I'm also running on my merits, and I'm running on my skills. And I will be a judge for our community.
Tiffany, you will be a wonderful judge. I know it. So if someone wants to help you reach your goal, that will help many, many people. How can they help?
Well, certainly you can visit my website, which is www.tiffanythomassmith.com. You can also visit my Facebook page. It's Tiffany Thomas Smith for Judge. And my Instagram is Tiffany Thomas Smith for Judge. But the best way is to email me also at tiffanythomassmithforjudge@gmail.com.
Okay, great. Tiffany, once again, I know your compassion for your clients. Many of your clients I know on a very personal basis. And the way you take care of people is, you're a rock star. You're just a rock star. That's what you are. So thank you very much for your time today. And if anybody has any questions about how to reach Tiffany, I'm also available. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Pat.